Yo, 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 it's Wacko, and video games are awesome, right? Going super fast, killing a bunch of enemies, having a fun time. Since that's what video games are for, right? Having fun? But what if they weren't? What if a game wasn't made to be fun, but instead to be artistic, or even just to be bad? What about these games? Are they still considered fun to play? Are they even considered good? When I ask you for a fun game, you'll probably think of games like Mario with its fun platforming, or maybe Zelda with its fun exploration. You probably wouldn't say Limbo, because its gameplay isn't flashy or fast or at all impressive. It has many sections that aren't puzzles or anything really challenging, but instead are just artistic. The developers viewed game design like any other medium, when they can be used in many ways for many purposes, not just used to mindlessly entertain children. However, while games can work to be artistic, that doesn't mean that any game striving to do so actually works. The Beginner's Guide, to me, is sadly one of those games. A game focused more on telling a story than actually being a game. There's essentially no gameplay, nothing you can really do. Your main goal is to just listen. The reason I don't think this works is because it's not a game. Compare that to The Stanley Parable, another game focused mainly on listening and less on actually playing. However, what you're listening to is determined by your actions. You, as the player, get to interact with the game world and dictate where the story will go. Even when you think you're stuck listening to him, you can usually just leave. This is an intrinsic part of the experience and only works in a game. The Beginner's Guide doesn't have anything like this, meaning while it may work as art, it fails at being a good game, at least to me. So I suppose a game can be artistic as long as it doesn't impact the fun. But what about bad games? Whether a game's bad on purpose or not, can bad games still be good? No, we already did this joke. Garten of Banban is bad, right? However, it's become so bad to the point that people actually find it funny. Like when Choo Choo Charles just appears, people died laughing.
Help me!
What? This is obviously enjoyment coming from the game, so it must be good. While the later chapters definitely do lean into this humor, the earlier ones seem to want to be taken seriously. So if you strive for one goal, but actually miss it completely, but still end up being an enjoyable game, does that mean you've succeeded or failed? And does that change whether the game's good or not?
When video games were first established, gameplay was the first thing that had to be thought of. Limited storage space means you gotta make fun with the little storage you got. But as video game consoles began to develop, all of a sudden, developers had much more space to do more with games, and suddenly, they could make artistic decisions. Now let's take Chibi Robo for example. While I love this video game, I can very well admit its downfall. The implemented gameplay sections are fun, however, it does run out very fast. Chibi Robo creates an engaging environment through its characters. However, much of this engagement comes through reading the storylines that is depicted through dialogue. And while I find maneuvering around the house fun, I can see why many people will drop the game because of its dull moments. However, this game is such a unique one from Nintendo considering how mature the themes are for the game and how uniquely it deals with its characters. Then there's games that try to be something that they just can't. Mario Pinball Land is the epitome of a game that is awful. You want to see why? It takes a once fun premise and addicting game and makes it about maneuvering levels. Sure, with enough experience, maneuvering does get easier, but nonetheless, you do get trapped into some very annoying positions. I just wonder what playtester found this thing fun, but at least they tried to be creative. Like Balls 3D.
Getting Over It is a good example of a game that's meant to be bad. The whole point is that you're supposed to hate it and be frustrated, but persevere and overcome both the mountain and your irritations. It's a test of your willpower, but is it fun? Most people didn't seem to enjoy it their first time, so for them, was it a fun game? And if it wasn't, is it still a good game? But does it really matter? Do games have to be fun? Do they have to be fun immediately or to all players? I say no. It doesn't matter what you get out of the experience, a game is good for you as long as you get something out of it. For example, The game that really inspired this video was Pathologic, and Hbomberguy's really good, really long video about it. For over 2 hours, he tells you about how this game is a masterpiece in so many ways. From the emotions it gives the player, to the way it fits all the characters together, to even the twists and turns you can find as you keep playing. Okay, this thing is broken. At the end of the video though, he specifically says,
I can't really recommend you play it.
well, you can't stop me, silly guy on the internet. I actually tried the game, and surprisingly, I hated it. Mr. Hbomberguy was right, and this game wasn't meant for me. Even though the game may have succeeded as a piece of art, and did exactly what it set out to do, it didn't do what I wanted it to do for me to find it fun. Or I guess, to find it good. And honestly, that's okay. I mean, my favorite game of all time is the same way. Minecraft. Okay, I know it sounds stupid to say the most sold game of all time isn't for everyone, but let me explain. Minecraft is a game about boredom. You spend most of your time waiting for things. Waiting till day, waiting for furnaces, waiting to find diamonds. You can spend hours in the mines just to die and have to do it all over again. So much of the game isn't fun, but I still love it. I love spending an hour grinding out wood before I even start to build my house. I love spending literal days of my life mapping out an area just to have done it. Minecraft may be for everyone, but the way I play Minecraft isn't. And that is why Minecraft is the best game ever. Okay, I swear this video wasn't a setup for me to praise my favorite game. The point I'm making with all this is that games are complicated and should be allowed to be whatever they want. Whether that's an artistic masterpiece, or something that didn't quite click with me, or even a pile of garbage only a handful of people could even appreciate, that's fine. As long as someone gets something out of it, it's never an objectively bad game. Except Sonic Heroes, because this game sucks. No! Hello, thank you very much for watching this video. I'd like to thank StoneScone for making a clip in this video, so thank him for that, because that turned out really well. I'd also like to mention Undertale, because I didn't mention it in the video, but like, the Genocide Route is a game that's meant to be bad for an artistic reason, and like, the pacifist is supposed to be good. That game's just really good. I need to stop talking about it, because I talk about it way too much. Also, I'm going to eat lasagna. It's going to be delicious. Goodbye.